Nonsense talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Join us always by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense right here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, but first things first, Nixon, how's it going?
All good here, not really got anything to report. Still can't find this 2018 Bound for Glory DVD. So if you've got a heads up on where I can find a copy, I'm certain it's out of production now. But yeah, if anyone has a copy that they'd like to sell to me, hit me up. I am willing to pay, because my OCD is suffering over here, having all the other ones and not 2018.
Yes, I stopped collecting it. I stopped collecting Impact DVDs around. Well, last Impact DVD I bought was a TNA DVD. So I think it was Slammiversary 2014. I think.
I know. You know, this digital age we live in. Everything is on streaming services nowadays, and DVDs will be obsolete. But purely as a collector, I need that 2018 DVD.
Yeah, it's nice to have the full collection.
Exactly.
But I guess now, without any further ado, we should get into Rebellion. Its online reactions seem to be a bit controversial, but we'll get into it and we'll go. I'll give you the rundown of results, and then we'll just jump in and do how we usually do. So we started off on the pre-show, the kickoff show. Cards subject to change. Eddie Edwards defeats Chris Bay, and the Influence retain the Knockouts World Tag Team titles against the Inspiration. We open up with Steve Macklin defeating Chris Sabin and Jay White. Ty Valkyrie wins the AAA Reina de Reinas title from Deonna Purrazzo. Ace Austin becomes new X Division champion after defeating Trey Miguel, Speedball Mike Bailey. Ishii defeats Jonah. Violent by Design retain the tag team titles in an 8-team elimination match. Tasha Steelz retains the Knockouts World title against Rosemary. And new Impact Wrestling World Champion Josh Alexander, who beats Moose. And as for I'll give you a quick rundown of the World Tag Title match. Major players entered number 1, followed by Jordan Grace and W. Morrissey. Good Brothers then entered after Grace and Morrissey were eliminated. Good Brothers eliminate major players. Good Brothers also eliminate Zicky Dice and Johnny Swinger. OGK of Honor No More eliminate the Good Brothers. Willie Mack and Rich Swann eliminate OGK. Heath and Rhino eliminate Swan and Mack. And Violent by Design eliminate Heath and Rhino. What do you think of the pay-per-view? Like I said, the online reaction was interesting with some points. Obviously, people are already trying to compare it to Hard to Kill. But, I mean, what's your take on it? It was, for me, the show was started off good, dipped a bit, and finished good. I don't know, what's your take on that?
I totally agree. It was a really good pay-per-view. And I include the pre-show in that. I think the big disappointment of the show was the tag title gauntlet, because they advertised 3 surprise teams. And when you do that, you're setting a precedent. And I don't think they delivered on those surprises. The major players were one of the surprises. Not really a surprise. They'd just joined forces on a couple of weeks ago on Impact, so it made sense for them to be in the match. Same with Zicky Dice and Johnny Swinger. It was really cool to see Jordan Grace and W. Morrissey as a team, and I'd like to see more of them going forward. But Impact management had an opportunity to deliver a cool surprise, and they just didn't do it. I'm sure they had no end of options. They could have gone to the Indies and picked a popular tag team from the Indies, or they could have gone back in time and brought in some TNA originals. I mean, I said in the chat on Twitch on the TNRW mothership that America's Most Wanted would have been a great shout. You could have brought in a team from New Japan, Finjuice, a very popular team, or Gorillas of Destiny, who just had a run with Impact. That would have been cool. So yeah, I was disappointed on that front. But if anyone, I don't see how anyone could possibly say that Rebellion was a bad show, because it was a great show. The in-ring work was phenomenal on all fronts. Even the aforementioned tag title match, the work was really good. When you look at the opener, I'm talking about the opener of the pre-show, Eddie Edwards and Chris Bay, fantastic. The opener of the main show, the three-way with Jay White, Steve Macklin, and Chris Sabin, phenomenal. The X Division title match, fan-fucking-tastic. And the main event is a match of the year contender with Josh finally defeating Moose for the world title. And you had that feel-good moment to close out the pay-per-view, especially with Jet Alexander coming to the ring just like his dad with the mouthpiece. Did the exact, motion that Josh does. Perfect. It was awesome. Really cool to see. So, yeah, I get why people would compare it to Hard to Kill, because Hard to Kill is one of the best Impact and TNA pay-per-views of all time in the past 20 years. So, and it is the most recent pay-per-view, so you will get comparisons there. But I don't think it's a fair comparison. I don't think it's fair to compare, pay-per-views month to month. And I know I'm guilty of doing it, but you need to take it on face value. And Rebellion was a great show. And yeah, as I say, it's unfair to compare it to any others. If I were to give it a ranking out of 10, I'd give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go for that. I mean, like you said, we're all guilty of comparing shows. We're all guilty of that. Hard to Kill was a banging show, but so was this. I mean, the countdown was great. For me, I know there's still time needed on it, but for me, the Knockouts tag titles, I always forgot it was a title match. There's something about the tag titles that there's something missing, which I know is going to take a lot more time to build, especially now with the Inspiration now leaving. It's going to maybe be a little bit more time, but wasn't as into it as I thought I might be. I wanted Inspiration to win,
quick.
Of course, but
it was short.
Yeah,
that match.
Yeah, I agree. And with Bay and Eddie, I mean, two of the best in Impact. Yeah, that's not for debate, and it continues the story of Honor No More and Bullet Club. So for a last minute match, I mean, what's not to like about that one? The opening triple threat of Macklin, Sabin, and Jay White. I think we all kind of had a feeling that Steve Macklin could become a world champion, but this match cemented it. I said, I rewatched it yesterday with my sister. I said when Macklin came out, in the next 2 years, Steve Macklin will be world champion. I'll put money on that. And Jay White is one of the best in the world. Chris Sabin, same. Still criminally underrated, in my opinion. But we know what they're capable of, and it was just a banging match. Taya and Deonna, again, what's not to like about that match? Although again, I saw some online reaction, people claiming Taya has reached her ceiling in Impact, which I agree in some sense, but that was still a killer match, and Diona and Ty are two completely different people to when they first faced off, just over a year ago. So that was a banging match. The X Division title triple threat. I mean, holy fuck! Like, I remember saying last night when I was rewatching it, if it wasn't for the main event, that would be match of the night.
Yeah.
And Trey, Ace, and Bay saying, "Give us our 5 stars. Give us our 5 stars." And if it wasn't a bias system, they probably would get 5 stars. But
if it was in the Tokyo Dome
or in Daly's place,
yeah,
decided on that to it now.
I see Meltzer as blocking people now for disagreeing with him and calling him out on his shit.
Well,
I need to check my Twitter, to be fair, see if I'm blocked.
Yeah, I haven't checked in a while. I might have to have a look at that one. Banging match. Now, I want to talk about Jonah versus Ishii, because Ishii, again, it's one of those matches that for me kind of fell flat. I thought it should have been great, and it for what it was a good match. I can't obviously I couldn't do better. So, but watching it was quite slow, but I get it because it's supposed to be strong style. I'm a big fan of strong style, but Jonah had a great match with Eddie. I had a great match with Moose. This was just good for me. I think Jonah's great. I think Ishii's great. This is something missing or not quite right for me in this match. Now, what was your feelings on it? Because for me, it felt a bit slow and a bit. I expected a bit more. Maybe that's just my fault.
It was fine. I felt the ending was a bit out of nowhere. It felt like Jonah dominated the match, and then Ishii come back with the dead drop brainbuster, and that was it. It was cool to see him slugging it out at the start. It was okay. I get why they did the style of match that they did, because coming off the triple threat for the X Division title, a wrestling show is like a roller coaster. You bring them up, you bring them down, bring them up, bring them down. So you had the 3-way at the start, bring them up. Tyra and Diona have a bit of a slower, more deliberate match, bring it down. Yeah. Then you had the 3-way for the X Division title. Then you had this, slow it down, let people catch their breath. So it made sense in the flow of the show to do that match there. Yeah. Because then after that, I forget what was after that.
The tag titles.
Yeah, potential surprises. You had the thing with Chelsea going through the table, bring them up. Yep. So I thought it was good. I don't think it needed to be any more than it was.
No, that's fair. I mean, I like big meaty men slapping meat. I'm down for that type of match. I like strong style, but that's for me something missing. Let's get to that tag team title match, because it started off good. Then, I mean, OGK, Swan, OGK, Swan, Mac, and the Good Brothers. I thought they had a solid match, a solid mini match. Obviously, started off so good. Part of me was thinking when it came off air on Wednesday, the last show. It came to me at the last minute. What's watching Impact on Thursday. What if they do put Grayson and Morrissey in the tag title match? I had an inkling then. I'm glad they went with it.
Called it. Yeah. You've been hailed as a genius.
But I just didn't. I didn't know if Impact aren't really bothered about getting a bad reaction online. But I mean, when it comes to Jordan Grace, you fully believe it that she can do that, because she can. I mean, when on commentary, when Hannafin said Jordan Grace wants to win all the titles in Impact, do it. Give them to her. I want to see that.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll do. You know, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Jordan Grace has now competed for every title on Impact apart from the world title. So, you know, even though she didn't face the champions in the tag title match, she was still a contender for the tag team titles. And how many people can say that in wrestling, that they've competed for every title in a company? So, but that was a great little thing there between obviously the major players who, I'm glad there's a tag team in Impact now, because I just like them as a team. But this proved that the tag division still needs more work. It felt like it was starting to get better, but I don't know, what's your take on it? I felt it proved that it needed a bit more work still.
well, that match was missing two important teams in Impact: the Motor City Machine Guns and the Briscoes. Unfortunately, we couldn't have them in that match because they were booked elsewhere. I don't like the fact that they kept the belts on Violent by Design. I thought it was a good opportunity to put them on OGK. That's who I predicted to win the match. Give Honor No More a reason, because right now, although technically they won that match, which meant they could stay, they've got no bargaining power with management. If they had the tag titles, they would feel more important and they'd have more stroke in the storylines. So I would have put them on OGK, have them feud with Swan and Mac, for example. Then when the Briscoes come in, you've got that automatic feud with the Good Brothers, and then they can work their way through Violent by Design and then go and challenge OGK, who they have history with from Ring of Honor. It just, for me, that is a built-in storyline, and that would have worked really well. You know, I don't have any doubt that Scott D'Amore and his booking team will do well with the Briscoes. Yeah, the fact that VBD, and they beat Heath and Rhino at the end, and the fact that the tag team champions were the last ones out. When I saw that, I said audibly, that's bollocks.
Yeah.
You know, it's the easy way out.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. But as far as Honor No More and OGK go, obviously people obviously Maria's contract is now up. She was offered an extension. Don't know if she accepted it. But even if she doesn't, and she does go to AEW, I don't think that's the end of Honor No More. I don't, you know, I think Impact must want to keep OGK and Vincent. I think Vincent and PCO are the two definitely locked in. I feel like, but I can't see Impact wanting to break this team up. Eddie's a heel is because of Honor No More. He's the leader of Honor No More. So if Honor No More break up or you lose some members, what does Eddie do? Because it's an ex Ring of Honor group, you have to bring more Ring of Honor tag teams in, and it's not going to use the Briscoes on this. So I just don't think it's. I don't think we should be worried about it yet. You know, if it comes out that OGK and Kenny King are, I assume they're only on pay per appearance, but that's what Impact do. Jonah's on pay per appearance. TJP was X Division champion on per appearance.
Mickey James.
Exactly. So I don't think we should be worried about it just yet.
No, and I think Kenny King will be sticking around as well because he did that match with Crazy Steve.
No, BTI.
For they filmed it at Rebellion. Yeah. And I don't know if you watched it. There's a nice little match, and Kenny got the victory there over an established act, Decay. So yeah, I'm hoping that Kenny King is here to stay. Even though Alec, the Booker man, not a fan of Kenny King, I think he's great, and I hope he does stick around.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kenny King. Just quickly, we'll touch on the Knockouts World Title. Didn't expect any other result.
No.
Good match, but didn't expect anything else out of that.
Yeah, it was fine.
World Title now. Yeah, it's decent. Didn't expect anything different.
No.
So now for the World Title, Josh Alexander versus Moose. I mean, what a match! What a feud! 6 months of build, and they smashed it. Completely smashed it. And seeing Josh take out of Moose's spear, just as soon as that happened, I believed it more. I firmly believed it more than I did going in. I wanted it to happen, but again, yourself and Alec kind of threw a spanner in the works in my thinking for saying Moose isn't ready yet, so didn't know what was going to happen. But as soon as Josh kicked out the spear, and Josh, the visual of Josh throwing off his headgear and just going for it, perfection. It couldn't have gone any better. It completely just smashed it. And Jet Alexander, it's like watching Jet walk out. It's like telling me that kid's gonna be a wrestler without saying the words.
Yeah. He's born. It's in his blood.
Yeah, there's already so much charisma. I think he's about around 4 years old. So the fact that he's doing that and walked straight past his dad to win the world title just to climb the ropes. I mean, I think after the rebellion went off air, Scott D'Amore introduced him as the future world champion.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. If Impact will still be around by then, and Jet will just slot in nicely.
I don't know if you saw Jade Chung posted on Twitter a picture of Jet with a mini replica Impact World Title. Yeah, that was awesome.
Incredible. So, all in all, a solid show. Yes, it dipped, but I every time there's an Impact special or pay-per-view, I say the same thing. Impact hit a level, and they never drop below it. You can never say it's bad. And people say, "Oh, it needs to be a 10 out of 10." What pay-per-view in the past 10 years has been a 10 out of 10? Realistically, I personally can't think of any that's hit it.
I mean, some of the AEW pay-per-views were really, really good. Some were far better than others. But when you look at WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact, New Japan, there's maybe in the past. I mean, I've been a wrestling fan since 1996. I can think of less than a handful that I would consider 10 out of 10. In the most recent year, no, more than that, but let's say 5 years, Hard to Kill is the one that came closest to 10 out of 10 for me in all of wrestling. So yeah, Rebellion is up there, but yeah, like you were saying, you don't get many 10 out of 10 shows.
No. And with Impact, like I said, they're at a level. They never drop below it. They only go above it most of the time. So just enjoy it for what it was, which was a strong pay-per-view. I've watched it twice, and I still have the same reactions. So
yeah, I intend to watch it again with the alternate commentary.
That's what I was intending to do, but I completely forgot about it when I hit the replay button. I completely forgot there was alternative until I was watching it. But yeah, fun show. So, I mean, you give it an 8.5 out of 10. I would stick with just a firm 8. was good, and I enjoyed it, and didn't last as long as I thought it was going to. I mean, I think it started at 1 a.m. our time. I think it finished about 5 to 4.
Yeah.
So I was fine with it. Now we on to our first subheading, and news that dropped today as we record on Wednesday.
It was a bloody good job we didn't record yesterday.
Very, very good job. But yeah, it's announced by the Inspiration and Impact Wrestling. The Inspiration, Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee, will be stepping away indefinitely from in-ring action. I mean, they're leaving Impact Wrestling, they're leaving wrestling indefinitely. Came as a surprise to a lot of people, which obviously understandably. But if you watched their podcasts off their shops, or if you watched their interviews in the past, it made it pretty clear that they want to pursue acting as a career. So even though it's still a surprise that they're out of Impact now, the fact they were in Impact in the first place is still amazing. Because if you'd have said to me 4 years ago, even a year and a half ago, if you said to me, "Oh, the Iconics will come to Impact Wrestling and win the Knockouts tag titles," I wouldn't believe you. I wouldn't believe anyone who told me that. But no matter how much I wanted it, I would not have believed it. The fact they came to Impact, it's just to show how good this women's division is. Because I mean, in terms of women's tag wrestling, there's not a lot of it. Not really strong tag team wrestling. Well, not in the mainstream. Obviously, you have the companies of Shimmer and Stardom, but in terms of mainstream women's tag team wrestling, there's not too much of it. TBN had it, but kind of let it drop, and it's back now. And the Inspiration were a big part of that. They were the only legitimate tag team in WWE for those tag titles who've been together longer than a year. It came into NXT together. It trained together. It's not often you get that with women's tag teams. So, but what's your take on the Inspiration now, essentially retired from wrestling?
Well, like you said, they're the only real tag team, that weren't just, I'm talking about WWE and NXT right now. The only team that really weren't just two women thrown together, like Sasha Banks and Naomi, for example, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I know you've got like Toxic Attraction in NXT. Obviously you've got the Influence in Impact. You've got Decay in Impact. You do have some established teams, but when WWE brought their women's tag titles in, you kind of thought, what's the point? Because there were no teams apart from the Iconics. So when they came over to Impact and won the tag titles straight away, it was a step in the right direction for the Knockouts division. Although they haven't set the wrestling world on fire with their in-ring work, their matches were always decent and solid. They never shit the bed. And they are, more than anything, two very entertaining and funny women. And I haven't watched their podcast. I listen to so many podcasts, it would be hard to find the time for another one. I mean, I don't listen to ours. But to hear that they're going into acting work, it makes sense. I think they'd be great presenters if they were to do some sort of, like when WWE did Backstage. If the Knockouts division needed a show like that, Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee would be fantastic hosting something like that. But yeah, the world is their oyster. They're, as I said, they're so entertaining and funny. I think, they can go and do whatever they want. And if they want to step out of the ring to do that, then that's their decision. I'm not gonna stand here and say, oh no, you're making the wrong decision leaving Impact Wrestling. Go and do what you want, because those two girls are more than capable of doing anything they set their desires to.
Yeah, exactly. Get it done. I mean, shout out to Io, who runs our Twitter, pointing out that Jessie McKay, Cassie Lee, Inspiration Iconics have won the WWE Tag and Knockouts Tag on both companies' biggest shows of the year. They won the women's tag at WrestleMania, and they won the Knockouts Tag at Bound for Glory. I mean, no other women's tag team can say that. And no, probably no Knockouts, no women's tag team will ever say that. That's something that's going to go down for a long time. And hey, like I said, wherever they go, they'll be successful. But if by chance they just want to come on and do a random podcast interview, open invite for TBN chats. And open invite. You can see below us where you can contact us. Hey, if you feel like it, we can just let us know. Open invite. And that goes for every professional wrestler, by the way. Open invite. But yeah, it's unfortunate because now the Knockouts tag division has lost the only legitimate tag team that it could have built another feud around. Because now it's going to take a lot longer to build another team up. Of course, you have Decay, and this week on Impact, you've got Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz versus Decay. Maybe that could lead to something, but it's unfortunate. But you just know wherever they go, they're going to be unbelievably successful because they have so much charisma and they're just entertaining.
Yeah, and to your point, Craig, the fact that they stopped by for 6 months and were the tag team champions, it gives Impact Wrestling a rub.
Yeah, for sure. You go back and look at the lineage of these tag titles in 5 years, and you see the inspiration on there. That's a good tag team to have. Next to the likes of Beautiful People, Gail Kim, and Madison Rain, Fire and Flavor. So that's some great tag teams. And the inspiration it came in and elevated those Knockouts tag titles that bit more. So now they will be eventually be taken seriously again, and with the build up, if coming soon, hopefully, should be. I'm looking forward to what these tag titles do, and just the fact that I can say that the inspiration Iconics were in Impact Wrestling, that's pretty cool. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, it's nearly time for the Impact preview, but I think we're about to throw it over to the Power Rankings. A new show of the more in-depth show came out this week. Go check it out on YouTube with Datia and Bert. But I guess let's take a look at last week's Power Rankings, see where people ended up, and who knows where they might end up this week. So Jeff, Power Rankings.
Number 10, Eddie Edwards and Honor No More. Number 9, Bullet Club. Number 8, Tag Team Champions, The Influence. Number 7, Moose. Number 6, New Reina de Reinas Champion Taya Valkyrie. Number 5, Steve Macklin. Number 4, Tag Team Champions VBD. Number 3, Knockouts Champion Tasha Steelz. Number 2, New X Division Champion Ace Austin. Number 1, Impact World Champion Josh Alexander.
Okay. Those were the Power Rankings. If you agree, if you disagree, let us know. Reach out to Brother Bert if you want to join the rankings committee to have your say. Like I said, go check out Datia and Bert's new GoGo Power Ranking show. dropping every Monday. I hope I got that right. You can check it on YouTube anyway. It's a fun show. They do a great job. But yeah, let's get into the preview this time. I think this is the third week we've missed the pre-review, but we'll go straight to the preview. On this week's Impact, I think it's like a stacked card. I've got the Rebellion rematch between Josh Alexander and Moose for the Impact World Championship.
This is a bit out of nowhere, isn't it? Doing the rematch straight out of the gate.
Yeah,
World title match on Impact this week.
I think it's because Moose is injured. I think he might take a bit of time off. I think that's where it's going. But hey, the Briscoes return this week. We have Honor No More of Eddie Edwards and OGK facing the Motor City Machine Guns and Speedball Mike Bailey. Decay of Rosemary and Havoc taking on the team of Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Again, reports are suggesting that Tasha Steelz picked up an injury in this match, so hopefully she's okay. Also, the return of VSK against Bipinda Gujar. And on BTI, we have Vincent versus Crazy Steve.
That's an interesting match. Two eclectic, eccentric characters.
Yeah, very much so. So, what's your take on Impact this week? Obviously, you mentioned the Rebellion rematch. It's kind of popped up pretty soon. I believe, again, after Rebellion, Scott D'Amore announced that there will be the world title. Josh Alexander will be defending the world title at the TV tapings. It's happening. It's versus Moose rematch. Briscoes are coming in. Don't know who the partners are, and obviously Honor No More and Machine Guns and Mike Bailey is going to be a banging match.
Mm-hmm.
Decay and Steelz and Savannah and VSK versus Gujar. So what looking forward to on that, and yeah, it should be another good Impact like it usually is.
Yeah, OGK. Who are they teaming with? Kenny King?
Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. Oh, that'll be a banger. Yeah, not Honor No More and Motor City Machine Guns, Speedball. That'd be fantastic. I can't remember if we talked about the three-way at Rebellion. The fact that Ace Austin won, I think, was the right call. I think that's what we both predicted.
Yeah.
Because Speedball still needs time to build up to the X Division title. He'll get there this year, guarantee it. But to put him with the Machine Guns in that 6-man tag is just going to elevate Speedball even more. He liked one of my tweets on Saturday night, which is cool. That'll be a fun 6-man tag. Looking forward to that more than anything, I would say. Oh, I guess the world title match as well. I wouldn't have thought it would be as good as the Rebellion match, but it makes sense that Josh would be a fighting champion and defend it as much as possible because that's his character. And if Moose wants time off, then do the rematch soon, get it done, and then give Moose a couple of months off to heal up. I'm sure he'll be back in time for Slammiversary. Probably the most important show in Impact history, considering it's the 20-year anniversary. Yeah,
and they announced today that it will be at the fairgrounds in Nashville.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I was thinking about it. I would have liked to have seen them gone to a bigger venue because guarantee they can pull a good house for the 20-year anniversary, considering they're probably going to get some big names on that show, from the past.
Oh dear.
I know people have spoken about AJ Styles possibly being on the show. I can't see it myself, but it would be awesome if they were able to get AJ for one night, as a favour.
Yeah, see, WWE do owe us one, but whether that one is AJ Styles, I mean, he's not really doing much on WTV at the minute. Obviously, we don't know any future plans, but I mean, I could, if they are thinking of a current WWE X TNA, maybe we could get Bobby Roode, maybe. I think that's a possibility.
Mhm.
But again, no inside information, so don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. But
I think it's the perfect opportunity to induct a bunch of people into the Impact Hall of Fame this year,
Yeah,
in the 20-year anniversary. Mike Tenay and Don West, obviously, need to be. I mean, I don't know Don's health state at the moment. Maybe he might not be able to work a full show, but you've got to have Mike Tenay on there.
It has to be there.
Yeah, it would be cool to see Jeff Jarrett on there. Don't know if he would do it, but I reckon we'll see Dixie Carter at some point on that show.
Yeah, I can kind of see that one as well.
Mm.
Again, it's just obviously Samoa Joe would be cool, but this Impact AW thing seems to be done. I don't think there's any good part of the relationship left. But
I think there's still room for a good relationship, even if it's just for one night. You know, let Samoa Joe come over for one match. It doesn't even need to be a match. Just come out on the stage.
Yeah, just it kind of has to be. I definitely think we'll get the nostalgia we would have gotten at the TNA show 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think because I mean, Amazing Red is still owed an appearance.
Yeah,
and you know if they wanted, I think I would like to see an Ultimate X, but I don't think they'll, because they've had 2 this year.
Yeah, already.
So, but it would have been cool to have an Ultimate X. And
I'm telling you, King of the Mountain. It's got to be King of the Mountain.
Well, if it is, let's do it for the X Championship, and then put Amazing Red in there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like, I think, obviously, you know, like I said, no inside information here, so we don't know. We're just guessing. We're fantasy booking like we usually do. But I really want to see some. I mean, it's going to be some nostalgia in the show. You know, maybe they put Barry Scott on the Hall of Fame. I think that would be a nice thing.
Oh yeah, posthumously, that would be cool.
Yeah. Again, I agree. Mike Tenay has to be there. Impact need to do anything it can to get Mike Tenay on that show, even if it is just to call the main event.
It would be cool if WWE let Jeremy Borash come over for the night.
Yeah, I mean, see, I know a lot of these ex-Impact guys seem to have some issues with the Anthem regime. Jeff Jarrett, especially, obviously, he's tried to sue Impact like 4 times. So, but I think they have to do something nostalgia-wise. But who knows what's going to be? I can't wait to see it. But back to Impact, offering another tangent there.
Yeah.
We need to get a tangent put on a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm excited for Honor No More and Machine Guns and Bailey, of course. But I'm excited to see VSK back. I'm a huge VSK guy. I think he's great, but he's gonna lose to Bupenda in probably 5 minutes, and that's probably being generous.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
You know, obviously the Briscoes are coming. Hopefully, it can be on a permanent basis, because obviously there's nothing going on with them in AEW, Ring of Honor, AEW. And obviously we mentioned it before a couple of shows ago, but Impact will be their best bet if they want to sign someone permanently. WWE just aren't gonna go down that route, and AEW clearly not interested. Otherwise, they would have snapped him up after Supercard.
Considering Meltzer rated that match between the Briscoes and FTR 5 stars, I thought Tony Khan would have snapped the Briscoes up. You know, regardless of this Warner Media policy on going back through people's social media and finding offensive stuff that people posted 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Briscoe's a different person now, I'm sure. He doesn't harbor his thoughts and opinions now. He's matured as a person. He knows That's not the sort of thing you need to be posting on social media.
Yeah.
And even if he has these opinions or not, I'm sure he doesn't now. But considering he probably did back then, leave it off of social media.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was a long time ago. Sorry, Craig.
I was going to say they've apologized 1,000 times for it, and even apologized at WrestleMania weekend. If people can't make a mistake and make up for that mistake, then what world are we living in?
Yeah, exactly.
Is what it is. He's apologized. He's moved on. He's not that person anymore.
Yeah.
Go. Let's go.
Exactly. And Impact. It makes sense for them to sign with Impact because they could still probably do GCW. They still go and do other stuff. Probably do some stuff with New Japan, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that style would fit in with New Japan.
Yeah, it's more than an option for them. Got a lot on this card. The Josh Moose rematch. I'm pretty confident it is. Get it done so Moose can take some time off. I mean, we didn't even mention in the Rebellion part of the EGV promo package, which, I mean, again, apologies if you think this is a spoiler, but Max happily let me know on Twitter that the binary code on the top of the thing spelled out Sammy. And, the fact he's got Eddie Edwards and Josh Alexander on his hit list, I think kind of has to be Sammy. I know he's been teasing the return not return, but teasing the Ohio tapings coming up. I think I know he's had surgery. I know he's in rehab a few months ago. So, if he's ready, if he's 100%, let's go. Bring something back because if he comes back at this point, I believe he was scheduled to be out for a year and a half, and he'll be back before that. If it is Sammy, last anniversary, I think Sammy Callahan will be back to his foot. So, let's go. Let's bring him back.
You said about the binary spelling Sammy. What does EGV stand for? Because the only thing I can Google is everything goes viral. But I'm sure they've got something specific to Sammy for that to stand for. Maybe violence at the end.
Yeah, everything goes violent, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything goes viral doesn't make sense with the ICU stuff before that.
Yeah.
So maybe that is what it stands for. Then I didn't think they're doing any Googling, so at least someone's doing their research. But yeah, this Impact card looks great. Impact after a pay-per-view always seems to be great, and this shouldn't be any exception. BTI Vince versus Crazy Steve should be a cool match. Don't know if I'll be awake to watch BTI because I try to stay up and watch it on the Thursday, Friday morning, but I usually give up by about midnight. So then I wake up early next morning and watch Impact. I don't go to watch BTI and then watch Impact. I go straight to Impact.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, it should be a fun show. As far as I'm aware, I think that's the only thing that's been announced. Again, apparently Impact did announce the match at the tapings, but again, no spoilers, so you have to wait and see what that is because they haven't announced it for this week. But as I mentioned, I read a report that Cassius Steele picked up an injury in this tag match coming up.
That's worrying. The Knockouts World Champion picking up an injury.
Yeah. From what I read, she got taken out, or she tagged out to Savannah and then rolled onto the floor, and medical staff were checking on her while Savannah finished off the match. But she left the building of her own willpower. So hope so. Doesn't seem to be anything too serious, but touch wood, there's nothing serious going on. And Tasha, we can still remain the Knockouts World Champion because it's been a good reign, and I'm excited to see what else, especially with Slammiversary coming up. Because I mean, if we're booking, obviously we might have to go in and book fantasy book Slammiversary at some point before it pops up. But I mean, I kind of want to see. It will never happen because I think she's under a Legends contract. But I want to see Tasha Steelz versus Trish Stratus.
Okay.
I would kill for that match. I'll give anything for that match. But I think Trish is under a Legends contract with WWE, so I don't know for certain. I might have to do again. Did do my research, but hey ho. But yeah, I hope that's what we get. But we never know. But I guess now let's head over into that final 10. And yeah, so if you've watched in recent weeks, you've seen that myself and Nixon have done little challenges against each other. We booked our Bound for Glory with our fantasy rosters, and obviously prediction contests throughout. This time, we want to throw a challenge out to everyone watching and listening out there in the Twitterverse, in the TNIW verse. We want to throw a little challenge. So we challenge you to come up with your very own Lethal Lockdown Dream Team. It'll be myself versus Nixon versus the audience. And there's only a few rules. So it has to be a team of only 5. It can be anyone from TNA Impact history, current day, past, whatever you like, as long as they were Impact Wrestling at some point. And it must include a knockout and a Hall of Famer as the only rules. So, and we'll and to give us your entry, all you have to do is post your team on Twitter or social media and tag us, and also use the hashtag TBN Lockdown. That's TBN Lockdown. So, and we want all entries in by Tuesday so it'll be the 3rd of May. The entries in by the 3rd of May. And just to give you an example, I'll go first and give you my Little Lockdown team. So I had to do a count. Well, so my dream team will be the phenomenal AJ Styles, the walking weapon Josh Alexander, the Pope D'Angelo De Niro, my knockout. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with Gail Kim, but that does not include my Hall of Famer. My Hall of Famer is it's got to be the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle.
You went with at least 2 that I was going to go and use.
I mean, it's not versus, so you can go with whoever you want to go with.
I'm going to do one off the top of my head right now. Hall of Famer, Sting.
Very nice.
Knockout, I'm going to go with Awesome Kong. Also a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Beer Money in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to say AJ Styles as well. You need someone who's going to do the crazy stuff on the top of the roof.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, as well, Max, Jeff, this challenge also goes to you. Come up with your Lethal Lockdown team. It's also a challenge to you guys as well. And we'll also be difficult for the people, for everyone entering to vote. but I think we'll put our teams out, and it will be TBN versus TNIW for the very first time. We'll put a poll up like we normally do on. Yeah, let's go Tuesday. So we film on Wednesday. Max, Jeff, this also goes out. No, this goes out to the entire TNIW team.
Yeah, we want Bert, we want Datia, we want Io, we want everyone.
Yeah, Lucha, even Johnny of LOL Trainer, everyone in the TNIW team. This goes to you as well. So get your Lethal Lockdown teams in, and we'll see who has bragging rights in the TNIW team. I mean, I should have had bragging rights for the pay-per-view, but I'm joint third. Still, technically, the reigning and defending. Still, technically.
And still.
Yeah, 1/3 of the reigning defending TNIW predictions champions. So there you have it. That's your challenge for this week. And remember, for people watching, not involved in the TNIW team, use the hashtag TBN lockdown to get your entry in by Tuesday, 3rd of May. And let's have some fun with this. But I guess a little bit early, but that's still good because it seems to be quite a bit to plug. Coming soon, I can't give you an exact date, but if you saw social media, you'll know that we have the newest guest of TBN Chats, and I can't even say this, but it's one half of the undisputed Rev Pro British Tag Team Champions, TK Cooper of the Sunshine Machine, on TBN Chats. It's a phenomenal chat with TK. If you haven't already, go check him out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/puretkc. Go check him out. It's worth my time. I'm in that chat as well quite a lot, so have some fun there. Obviously, check out Max and Jeff every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 a.m. for us here in the UK. That's twitch.tv/TNAIW channel. Of course, LOL TNA. I forget the date, but the time is 4:20 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, with Max, Johnny, and Jeff, Johnny, and Lucha. With me. This week they covered the legends that are Chet Lemon and Black Snow.
Oh, I loved that episode.
Phenomenal.
Mafia.
Just phenomenal. And you go back and watch. They cover Cookie Gate. They cover. I mean, they're covering a lot more, and it's just always a fun time. Obviously, go check out every episode of TBN Chats. Like I said earlier in the show, it's an open invite to any pro wrestler who wants to come on and chat. We want to chat to you. If you want to chat to us, let's go. Let's get more attention on wrestlers. Obviously, our focus is kind of on independent wrestling because it's always just a fun time. But listen, do you have anything to plug? Any shows coming up for you?
I'm back with DOA on May 21st in Bury St Edmunds. I'm wrestling the legendary Brett Meadows, aka Damien. So that'll be fun. It's going to be a battle. Shout out to Frank Fiat for the entrance music. Not just our show, but my entrance music. We're gonna get him on TBN Chats at some point. He's an interesting fella, and it's something that you'll all enjoy for sure. Yeah,
it's always a fun time to have people so we don't just want pro wrestlers on. We want bookers, we want referees, we want ring announcers, we want commentators. If anyone you want to see on the show, we will do our best to bring on to have a chat with. We're working on a few at the minute. We're waiting to hear back from a few, but it's always a fun time. People we've had already, huge shout out because they're some of the best in the UK scene at the minute, and it's always a fun chat to have.
Well, someone that did appear on TBN chats, PJ Knight, Patrick. He we just did a show in Great Yarmouth for DOA called Let the Games Begin. He wrestled the silverback Corey McRae. Really, really good match. You can see it on Fight TV for free. All of DOA's stuff goes on Fight TV the Thursday after the show happens for free on Fight. So just search DOA Wrestling on Fight and you can see all of our stuff. The shows are really, really fun.
Yeah, they have it. So much wrestling out there. Yeah, it's so much wrestling. So go and subscribe to follow those guys everywhere. So drop a subscribe on here. If you wanna give me an early birthday gift, drop a subscribe.
When's your birthday?
May 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the same. I share the birthday with the Great One.
With the who?
The Great One.
The Rock.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, May 2nd.
I thought you said the Grinch. The Great One.
The Great One. Yes. So yeah, if you want to give me early birthday guest, drop us a subscribe and just enjoy wrestling. That's all we ask. Enjoy wrestling. Share this wherever you find it. Really helps us a lot. And don't forget to get your Lethal Lockdown teams locked in by Tuesday, May 3rd, and use the hashtag TBN Lockdown. That's a challenge to everyone out there watching and everyone in the TNIW team. But I guess until next time, I've been the MIC. He's been Nixon, and I'll continue to be Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.
Thank you.